So good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. My name is Lisa Slood. I'm the General Partner of R3I Capital, and welcome back for round 2 of our Unicorn Pitch Texas competition. I'd like to thank the judges for joining us here today and for all of our founders. Some of our founders have sent us through their pre-recorded videos and won't be live today, but you are welcome to reach out to them directly. We're going to kick off today's proceeding with an introduction from our judges who have joined us from around the world. I might start with yourself, Keith, if you don't mind. Over to you.
Hi, I'm Keith Herman from Ipa Equities. We are an investment fund located in Los Angeles, California. We are industry and sector agnostic, looking at companies that have innovative and disruptive technologies. We are investing in seed round and Series A, and look forward to hearing more from the companies today.
Thank you so much. And over to you, Peter at R3I.
Good morning, evening, afternoon. I don't know. R3I Ventures work with Lisa. We are deep tech, med tech oriented. Anything that can be backed up with technology, hopefully defendable through the patents or otherwise. Also, as Keith, we also invest in Series A. That's generally the target. And looking for the pitches. Thank you.
And over to you, Gaio.
I'll try one. Do you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, great. Thank you. I have a problem with my.
It shows mute, so I'm not sure. Okay.
Gaio, can you hear us, or he's having a challenge with his video? Anastasia, I might hand it over to you while Gaio gets his video sorted.
Yeah, sure. So welcome everyone. My name is Anastasia Lead. I represent Deep Knowledge Group. We are the longevity consortium that is devoted to the longevity and deep tech industries. We invest on a deal-by-deal cases in the most promising and disruptive startups in the longevity, health tech, deep tech, and AI industries, and wish the very good luck to today's participants.
Fantastic. Thank you, Anastasia. And thanks for flying the flag for women in VC. There's so few of us in this ecosystem, so great to have you with us. My name is Lisa Slood. I'm the General Partner of R3I Capital, and we're also joined here by Guy Collier, who's also based in Austin, Texas, on the ground. Welcome, Guy. I'm going to hand it over to our first founder today, Charles. Thank you for joining us live from sunny Texas. I'm going to hand the floor over to you.
Yeah, how are you guys doing? I'm Charles Reinert from Texas. It is hot. I think it's supposed to be 104 degrees here to get today, so it's a good time to be indoors. You want me to just share my screen for the presentation?
Yeah, please do, and then we'll open it up for Q&A.
Awesome. I think I can do this right here, just like this. Okay, we are a peer-to-peer challenge exchange. We're called Post It, Play It. Just like the word says, it says post it, play it. We have somebody that needs to post a game, somebody to plays the game. This is where you invite friends, where the house never wins. We have the market size for our actual industry is actually unknown, but they're saying that it's about a $250 billion industry, and it's growing every day. They changed this opinion so much, it's kind of crazy. And the repeal of the PASPA back in 2018, it opened the market for the states to make the opinions instead of it being a federal crime for gambling. So it takes away that negative stigma from the industry for gambling, because, and especially with the way we're doing it with peer-to-peer, we noticed that people are afraid to get into this type of these ventures because the house always wins. And in our case, the house never wins. We charge a small percentage for each side, regardless of the outcome of the game, which gives us another opportunity to bypass some of the state regulations, which has given us the ability to get a Visa, MasterCard, merchant accounts, transfer ACH. And we're also a US company, and we don't do anything offshore. Everything is right here in the United States. We are a social first application. So most of these companies, if you guys have heard lately that DraftKings, FanDuel, a lot of these big sports books, it's costing them an outrageous amount of money for user acquisition cost, upwards of $500 plus per user. When we have the peer-to-peer social wagering, our studies, and we had a Harvard study, and we can give more information about this, but he actually dove deep into this and said, I just can't believe you guys are going to be below $100 for user acquisition, because the main thing is our users, they invite someone before they even start to play themselves, which takes away, the user acquisition to go find the new customer and how much it costs, because they're going to bring 1 or 2, maybe even 3 or 4 customers with them. We did a small beta test. We had 150 people we invited of our friends, and we turned that into over 1,000 people just over one beta test. And it cost us a very minimal $10,000 campaign to do that. Our platform is very simple. Like I said, we have no hidden fees. There's a 3% transaction fee. It's the lowest in the market. Vegas, for instance, charge you 10%, and that's if you don't change the odds on the game. If you want to add another half point or so, it could cost you anywhere from 5 to 10% more. We're considered a game of skill. Our players post a game and someone else plays the game. It's considered a competition, and it's also handicapping, so it is considered a game of skill. We use a secure wallet that's it's on a virtual ledger. We protect it with a blockchain. Now, we are not a crypto, or a blockchain crypto-based company. We just protect it with blockchain technology. The players can post one game, and then other players can play against that game. And let me use this as an example. If a person posts $1,000 wager, it doesn't take one person to match that wager. It could take 10 people could actually match that wager. And to make up a difference. What's that?
Feel
Please
free
go
to
ahead.
continue, Charles. Some
Okay.
interruption.
All right, so we have some other exciting features that we just added. You can invite friends. You can actually view your friends' progress. You can see what their percentage is. You can see what the tracking and trending is on the game. You can challenge your friends and have in-app notifications, so they don't have to actually come to the app to see what games are available. It sends them the real-time notifications, and then they can just click straight from their text message, takes them to the app, opens up the game in question. So there's not a lot of fumbling around trying to find what they were looking for. And then you can actually comment on the games, live or upcoming games, see what people are trash talking, and then you can give your thumbs up or thumbs down on a public opinion poll, which gives you more, really clues on who's going to win the game, rather than having to go with a handful of guys in Vegas making that decision. You can just look right here on the app. We have leaderboards. You can actually create custom groups and friend groups. So if you want to go out and do a bicycle race and they have a wearable, anything that has a wearable device, or if it has a leaderboard, we can use that data, and then we can create our own leaderboard, and then you can have competitions within our app. And then you can see what your standing is, on what your winning ratio is, and all this. This is not money related. This is on win ratio related. They always say the data behind the analytics, and the data behind the analytics is the most important. We talked about notifications. It gives you notifications for everything from deposits to new friends that have joined. We actually have referral fees for other friends to join. So it's not a lot, but it's since we're a peer-to-peer and there's no house, there's not as much revenue for us to share with. Like you see, everybody's trying to match their bets. If you deposit $1,000, we'll give you $1,000. Well, we're not charging that ridiculous fee, so we pass that on to you, and we don't do a large referral bonuses. But we do track where they did come from. The beauty of it all is we have a US patent that protects all of this, which we can pursue. A lot of companies, there's some others out there that are trying to get into the same space, but like other companies, we don't try to be real litigious. We think there's an opportunity to create other partnerships And because everybody's technology is a little bit different, but we protected that technology with the US patent. Just in closing here, there's a large and growing market. We have multiple revenue streams. We can do B2B through like Top Golf, other casinos. If they don't have a sports book, we can create one for them. And it just creates another extension to keep their fans engaged or their customers engaged once they leave the establishments. We are a patented process. And we do have all of this in a legal opinion from one of the leading legal firms called IFRA Law Group out of Washington, D.C. If you guys want any more information, we'd love to hear from you. Post it, play it.
Thanks, Charles. And I'm going to open it up to the floor to questions.
What's your strategy to grow the company?
Our strategy to grow. We have some influencers that I can't disclose at this time, but as soon as we do a launch this September, we're going to close it. But we have some very large influencers. We're going to utilize social media since this is a social first. We will utilize their 30 million plus followers that we're going to do a testing for first. It's more of a beta test, I guess. It'll be our second beta test. And then we have a pretty big campaign for going to market. We have 42 states we're legal in now, and we have a pretty decent sales and marketing campaign for each state to roll out. But we're not spending a lot on
competitive landscape or your competitors.
You know, we don't compete with the casino based or the fantasy guys. We think that we can enhance theirs. Like I said, there's a handful of people that are trying to get in the market, but most of them are based on fantasy like player engagement. There's not anybody that's actually gone into the market that's doing what we're doing. That's just let the people create their own competitions.
Thank you, Charles.
And all of this technology is all live. You could go to postitplayit.com and check it out right now.
Charles, have you raised money so far
we
through the process?
Before COVID, we'd raised $1.4 million in 2018. And then when COVID hit, we had an opportunity to go back to the drawing board and kind of refine some of our software that we had tested it, and it wasn't quite scalable yet. So we went back to the drawing board and then created a much more robust software that when we just recently tested it, we can hold 100,000 impressions a second. And that's upwards of 1 million users. So we feel pretty confident in it now.
Great to hear that.
Sir?
Thanks, Gaio. And I'll just open up to the floor. Do we have any last questions? Nope. Brilliant. Thanks, Charles. Thanks very much for your presentation. Oh, Peter's got one. Sorry, Peter, over to you.
I thought my hand is so small. Just a quick, I guess your main competitors are the groups of people that do you said the fantasy pools and whatever is not really the competitors, but I know a lot of groups, especially if it's a workplace, schools, whatever, they do these, football, March Madness, all that kind of competition among themselves. So this is sort of where it plays into, right?
I mean, it's not considered fantasy, but fantasy has its own category, and they've been trying to put us in that category for a while, and it's taken us a lot of conversations to get out of that fantasy league. But we are a game of skill, and fantasy is a game of skill, so we would fit in the same categories if you want to call it game of skill, category. But as far as the offerings that they have versus what we have, they're still pitching the product where you pick a player against a player or a group of players against the players to build your own team versus, just creating the game with a handicap skill. Or, if it was going to be a fitness app and you wanted to connect your fitness app to our program so you can do your own leaderboard and then start challenging people with other fitness apps on the same fitness. For instance, I ride mountain bikes. So we have challenges on the downhill races. And because not everybody's the fastest going uphill, but everybody usually challenges on the downhill.
What is your exit strategy?
We actually think that this is going to be we're going to be acquired by a larger user or a larger company. I mean, that's really our exit strategy.
How far from now?
I would bet it's going to be between 3 and 5 years. I think that the market is still trying to adjust because the states don't know how they're going to charge for their fees, and I think that every state's eventually going to want to get into this space so they can get their fees. We do have that all built into our system now, so we can actually plug in state and regulatory fees. But it's going to be. I think that's what's going to. It's going to take it probably 3 years before that's done. We've seen a lot happen in the last 4 years, even through the COVID challenges.
Well, people sitting home probably playing more.
Yeah, we were actually doing simulated games on Twitch,
Yeah.
and people were competing on those games that weren't even real games. They were just simulated games that the Microsoft would mix a bunch of players together, and then we would host a game. We actually did March Madness, and they were a bunch of animated players playing.
Yeah, I think, for your exit, probably more important to get a customer base rather than worry about the legislation and regulations. As long as you get the, subscription and revenues, you don't want to get too early, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Want to get some valuation up. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we could start entertaining that 3 to 5 years. Our break-even point is about 1.5 years for growth anyway.
Charles, I used to have an American football analytics company called Auto Scout in the US. We in the end packed up and left and went back to Europe and focused on European football just because we could not make enough money in the local markets from the football teams themselves. I love how you focused on the fans as opposed to focusing on the players. Out of interest, are you getting any interest from football teams who want to use your platform as an opportunity to better engage with their fans?
We actually did. We had I'm Texas. It probably wouldn't take much for you to figure out what football team I'm talking about, but we had discussions with them for 6 months right after we launched. And that's when we discovered that our application wasn't as scalable as we'd liked it to be. And they were even willing to invest money with us, but it was one of those things where we could take the gamble and ourselves and go with them and take a very small percentage, or redo it ourselves and then revisit it. So that's where we're sitting now, is we decided to not go with them because we can control our own destiny. So we did, and now we can go back in and engage them again because we kept a really good relationship with them. But yes, that to answer your question is yes. And they were extremely excited. There was so much they could do, but we found out they are limited what they can do in stadium because of the NFL or all of the leagues are. The in stadium is the problem. Even Vegas has a problem with gambling in the stadium. They have to have a separate facility.
Yeah, makes sense.
But isn't your audience larger on the college football betting? Maybe.
Oh, I think it's a lot.
Then the
larger.
Cowboys. Cowboys is one team.
Yeah, I think it is. But the thing is we have there's a group of owners that are all kind of grouped together for these kind of projects. And when you get one of them, you get about 20 of them. So it's not just one team. Most of them use the same management companies for their sports and entertainment.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Charles, for your pitch. I really do appreciate it. And thanks for coming back.
Yeah, sorry about it being not as prepared. I was kind of last minute, so I was throwing it together as quick as possible. No
worries. Really appreciate it. And I'm excited to share that Trent, Blake, and Jacob are back with us. I know that Keith hasn't had the opportunity to see both of these pitches, so we can give an opportunity to you both to give a short pitch back again. I'm going to hand it over to Trent to start that. So Trent, over to you.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, I have about 4 minutes before I have to hop on a phone call. So
just the pitch is good enough, Trent, just so that you can catch up on the judges' marks.
Sure, I'll Probably
Lisa,
runs
can I
a-
ask, what about other founders? Are they on board, or are they planning to go to get to the Zoom room any sooner yet? Or
Yes, I have pre-recordings, but I'll play them at the end.
okay, great,
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Awesome. So I guess
Floor's
I'll-
yours.
Yeah, 3-minute quick pitch. Thanks, Trent. And Herman can just
Sorry.
catch up on your pitch.
I was just not prepared to do this. I didn't think I was going to be able to have some time, but here we are. There we are. Alrighty, so as everyone already saw earlier, except for Keith. Keith, it's great to meet you. But Galactive is an in-space services provider, and we're bringing satellite servicing capabilities to the commercial market. And we view ourselves as the AAA of space, and we're deploying tow trucks that give satellites new lives, new missions, and new opportunities. So in comparison to the car industry, where at the end of a vehicle's life, you abandon on the side of the road after 15 years, that wouldn't make sense. Well, that's how satellites that cost hundreds of millions of dollars currently work. Galactive plans to revolutionize the value chain of satellite operations, where on-orbit servicing capabilities can allow us to extend the lives of satellites that can continue to generate revenue for their owners. And at their end of their lives, we can incorporate salvage operations that allow satellite assets to be recycled for components and raw materials and create a true circular economy for space assets. We're currently developing our active space servicer, which is the workhorse of our offerings. It utilizes high thrust propulsion and has the capability to be refueled or repaired on orbit. So one servicer can provide rapid response servicing to multiple satellite assets simultaneously. We're designing this in collaboration with some of the leading underwriters of space insurance policies, where the active space servicer reduces the immediate risk of system failures while lowering the turnaround times for life extension operations from many months to a few days. So we generate revenue at every stage of the satellite life cycle, and we can collect an annual retainer fee for immediate availability, and that allows the operators to include our servicer in the existing mission plan during the underwriting process, and in return, they get lower annual premiums offered by their insurers. Individual servicing operations then are charged on a per mission basis as necessary, and the recycling of satellite assets and the brokerage of the salvage materials promise additional revenue generation opportunity with our business model. We're currently projecting to generate over $100 million in annual revenues by 2030 from satellite servicing activities alone, and will achieve profitable operations in 2027. These salvage activities that I had mentioned prior, they'll drastically enhance our revenue generation capabilities, but we don't include them in the current projections to avoid any unnecessary speculations regarding the price of these assets in the future. So our progress has been made possible through some overwhelming support from the space insurance sector, and they're very eager to support a solution like ours to come to market where minimal other viable options exist. And our recent award of a research contract from the US Space Force allows us to accelerate our development cycle with the support of Georgia Tech and other supporters. So we're currently led by a small multidisciplinary team of experienced business operators and engineers with the support of amazing contractors, consultants, and advisors. We've bootstrapped our operations to this point for the last 2 years and are currently seeking capital partners to expand in-house engineering operations, develop some further proprietary tech, and then get to market as quickly as possible. So thank you all for hearing this again, and I hope you enjoy this, Keith. If you have any connections or interest in the early stage space economy, just please feel free to contact me anytime. Thank you all.
Fantastic. Thanks, Trent. Much appreciated. And our next contestant of the day is Ghazal Qureshi from Upbrainery. And she sent us through a recorded pitch. So if you just wait one moment for me.
I'm assuming everybody can see my screen. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present Upbrainery to you. My name is Ghazal Qureshi. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Upbrainery Technologies, which is an edtech company. So in today's world, learning has fundamentally changed. Nowadays, everyone is consuming content and information in bite-sized chunks. And this is not just true for the smartphone and TikTok generation, but it's true for all of us. Yet corporate and educational institutions are still using the old-fashioned methods of teaching. While I was creating a very successful after-school program, which is now a national brand with over 107 locations, I saw firsthand problem with how people were taught and how they learn. So I started Upbrainery to really disrupt the world of learning. And Upbrainery solves this problem at scale with our immersive technology platform, which interacts with people in the way that they learn best. And we couple it with neuroscience skill-based training content. So Upbrainery's AI-based tech platform provides a rich and engaging learning experience, which can be used in the classroom, home, or school. It uses TikTok-style learning models, 3D models, augmented reality, gamification, and each is presented to each learner based on their own unique learning styles, interests, and aptitudes. Our skill-based platform also follows a learner skill journey with badges and micro-credentials, which can be presented to higher ed institutions and future employers on the blockchain, no matter when they enter our platform. And we've built this solution for changing the way anyone learns and consumes information. However, in phase 1, we're targeting skill development for middle school and high school students so that they can make informed decisions about future in the education and workforce. And the first implementation that we are focusing on is the public school channel, and that market is a $1.4 trillion market in the United States alone. We are tracking not only skills, but we are tracking skill sets, and that is allowing us to be able to build that journey. The first implementation that we're talking about is our school implementation, school district implementation, and annually $1.5 billion are currently allocated for career and technical education in the public school system, which so far has been untapped by educational companies. And we're finding great success in providing our technology and content to school districts that are looking for skill-based training coupled with badging and credentials. And just yesterday, we were awarded a multi-million-dollar contract that will extend our reach to 52 schools across the world through a government contract and allows teachers to leverage our content and our technology in their CTE classrooms. We have several paid pilots and negotiations with school districts. However, there are 14,000 school districts in the United States alone, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. We have been featured in several organizations and part of the Google for Startups and Forbes Next 1000, and we have an amazing team, and together we're changing the way learning happens. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. And we already have a question from Narayana.
There we go. And so that's Upbrainery. So if the judges don't mind, just to take a few minutes to catch up on the judging. Herman, you should also have access to all of the inputted profiles from the various applicants here today. And we just have one final one. The actual pitch profiles are in our judging box where they've put their applications in, but we have one which is just an advertisement for Ristretto Electric which is an e-bike with a powerful motor company. They unfortunately can't pitch today. They've got their application on the website, as does the other pitch contender. That's Red Swan, the blockchain commercial real estate marketplace. So I'll give you some time at the end just to review those. And in the meantime, I'll just share with you the e-bike profile so you can have a look at what they're up to and see it live in person.
Few solutions.
Bear with me 1 second, and I'll just get that live for you here. So this is the Ristretto e-bike. You can see their pitch deck and their profile on our platform here today. And this is the overview of the company as it stands. So this company you'll find all over Luxembourg. Electric bikes are a big thing here. So they're clearly making a play globally. And I give the judges here today just a few minutes to go back into the judging panel and have a look at the profiles of the company and make your judgment. And finally, we do have one final company of the day that is not here live pitching. The real estate company. And once again, I encourage you just to go to your judging panel and to be able to put your judging in for the company Red Swan CRE, a blockchain-based real estate platform. So take a few minutes, judges. I know you don't have the opportunity to ask them questions and answers, but they're very happy to be featured here today. And just while you make your final judgments, I'm going to circle back to our Unicorn Pitch team. As you know, Unicorn Pitch is the world's largest unicorn pitch competition. Today's winner is going to go off to the US finals and then go through to the global finals. And so if you can take your time to really consider the other pitches that pitched earlier this morning. We had Dolo Finance, which is bridging crypto liquidity with real world loans. We have the team at Galactive Inc., Trent Blake, who you met earlier, and Joanne Ting from DataSeer, who are providing real-time vision analytics across architectural drawings. And finally, Tested Web is the only founder that has not yet pitched here today. Once again, you can find their profile in the judging panel. I'm going to circle back to our friends at Unicorn Pitch in about 5 minutes' time. So please take the time to just have a look through at the profiles of those companies and cast your votes.
Well, we did see tested web pitch. Jakob?
Oh, Jakob is here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we actually,
Yeah.
I actually spoke about it just in the previous one.
Yes, yes, you did. Sorry, Jakob. My apologies. Thanks, Peter. And Jakob, we gave the opportunity for Trent to repitch his company. Did you want to do that also for Herman, or up to you?
If you don't mind, do a quick pitch for the judges that hadn't been in the first session.
Let me share my screen and quickly show it.
Go ahead. Thanks so much.
So Herman and we were actually a judge in some of the previous activities before. Well, quickly, my name is Jakob Rahimov. I'm the former founder of Seven Markets Group, which was acquired by multiple private equity firms in 2020, after I got stuck in Texas because of the COVID lockdowns. And 2021 February, we had a crazy snowstorm here where my car was destroyed by the frost. I ended up reaching out to the dealer, asking them to fix it. They pulled the godly clause. And first time ever, I wrote a negative review about a party on one of the top review portals. Just to figure out that the next day they deleted the review and banned my account, and no explanation at all. Being intrigued by this issue, I started digging into the problem. Is it happening to me only, or is it a common thing across the board? And we found out that the reviews industry have three fundamental flaws. First is the users, consumers don't own their content. It's been owned by the centralized review portals. Rating and ranking is biased, flawed. It's also quite often corrupt. And centralized moderation has no transparency around it. What goes in there, what doesn't go there, isn't being explained properly. And furthermore to that, there is a bigger elephant in the room, that's the fake reviews. Quite often, review portals even themselves are creating fake negative reviews to be able to attract more businesses for them as a sales methodology. And since they're centralized, no one can really prove them that they are the ones who are creating these fake negative reviews. Reviews overall had fake reviews overall had $63 billion of impact in economic losses in 2021 alone in the US. I come from blockchain and fintech background, being an early blockchain adopter, investing in Bitcoin in 2009, being there as a consultant advisor to multiple governments, central banks, etc., to implement technology as a solution. So we took that experience and decided to create a blockchain-powered online reviews marketplace where we eliminate fake reviews via behavior analysis and empowering consumers with content ownership. In essence, we are creating a hybrid DAO. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, where we provide users with content ownership rights and ability to vote for moderation via smart contract-powered peer moderation, and furthermore, giving them the ability to earn part of our revenue based on the input that they are putting it. In other words, it's a share to earn methodology. Businesses are getting direct to consumer analytics, review analytics, lead generation opportunities, customer retention, and the most important of all, industry and market insights, which are real time. And consumers are getting those of the previous mentioned benefits as well. We provide the user rewards. 25% of our revenue goes to users. We have a patent pending NFT ambassadorship program where instead of spending money to rabbit hole of advertisement, we have a lineup of influencers, thought leaders from different backgrounds in every city, representing each niche per metro city. We have dynamic pages, which is based on a research that we conducted, and re-engineered freemium structure where businesses are getting not only one time, but on monthly basis, premium teasers on our services. Talking of premium teasers, Tested Web is freemium, which is free unless you want to pay it. And for those that want to pay, it's either $10 or $199 a month. No other hidden fees, no bias, and instant review insight. Whereas the competition starts between $100 and it goes $750, if not even higher, with lots of hidden fees and bias in the process. These are some of our competitors, and we believe that timing is essential right now. Like Amazon ended up deleting 5% of their resellers because of the fake reviews. Google is banned from certain European countries because of fake reviews. Angie's, Trustpilot, Yelp are being sued on constant basis because of fake or biased review structure. And this is another Instagram advertisement of Yelp as an example, where they have 1,300 reviews. Every single one of the people complaining that they don't recommend Yelp, but at the same time, they don't really have an option. So we are targeting family-oriented pilot niches and initially launching on 1st of August in Austin, Texas, where we will be expanding to Texas, Florida, Kansas within a short period of time, targeting a total of 570,000 addressable businesses within our niche, which is a $100 billion serviceable market size. Our pre-launch traction is pretty significant, we believe. Whitelisting has a bit over 4,700 people, consumers, who have applied to be whitelisted on testedweb.com. We also have over 250 business owners applying to be listed in Austin metropolitan area. We have shortlisted 17 ambassadors and won 2 awards, a bit over $1.1 million equity-free grants and awards that it is. And of these 250 plus businesses, 112 of them are committing to pay, which is a total of $74,800 in total. This is some part of our roadmap. Our leadership team, myself, I'm two times prior founder and also an investor in multiple companies. Ilyas is a 19-year-old super geek, we call him. He's a former Afghan refugee who taught himself how to code and has been consulting cybersecurity related activities to a number of banks and central banks. Rishi is former IBM, MIT MBA graduate, and still at Flower. Vignesh is Michigan Ross graduate with experience in Group Shopper, etc., has a top leadership. Furthermore, to our team, Warren is former SEC attorney. He's our general counsel. Togru is our CFO, former PwC, Dutch Development Bank. And these are some of our team members, in total 25 people altogether. And yesterday, we actually opened our very first physical office in Azerbaijan, where government is covering 75% of our costs as well, part of the 2 grants that we've won. These are some of our ambassadors. You may know some of them, like Serhat, perhaps, Phil. Yeah, this is in short Tested Web. We are just kicking off our fundraising round. We are raising seed rounds. I'm happy to talk to whomever is interested.
Fantastic, thank you. And while you were pitching, we had another judge join us. Welcome, Jordan Lafaro. Great to have you with us.
Hey everyone, sorry I'm late to join. I had to wrap up an urgent client call, but I'm very glad to be here and to be part of this and to be looking at all these great companies.
Fantastic. I don't know if you've had a chance to go through all the pictures that were in the data room, but there's some fantastic companies that have presented today from Texas. We are going to wrap up now with the judging. So if you've had a chance to have a look, please make sure you've cast your vote. And if not, please just keep an eye on the data room and feel free to reach out to the founders directly.
Sure thing.
Thanks so much. And we're looking forward to meeting you in Texas. R3I is expanding our operations into Texas in 2023. We're already set up in SMU Cox Business School as part of the faculty there, and really looking forward to landing companies into the region. So very excited to meet you. Thanks for joining. All right, we're going to wrap up the proceedings today. It was in 2 parts because an Australian was scheduling this event. She won't be scheduling it in the future, I can promise you. But we have had some outstanding winners here today. And if I can get a small drum roll, we have our team at Dolo Finance who've taken out first place. Galactive Inc. is taking out second place. And our team at Post-it Play It has taken out third place. Congratulations, Charles, you're on the call here today. And congratulations to our winners, Dolo Finance and Galactive. The winners of today's event go through to the US final competition, and we look forward to seeing their success. We've had a few winners in the past of the global competition, so we look forward to getting them prepped and ready. Please stay in touch with us at R3I. Really excited to be here with you today. R3I Capital is a deep tech, med tech, cross-border investor operating between Singapore, Luxembourg, and soon to be Texas. And we're really happy to have the opportunities to co-invest. We invest in seed stage companies that we put through our accelerator programs and that we co-invest with and scale into our limited partners. We are a partner and collaborator of the Australian government, Austrade, taking their deep tech assets out of Australia cross-border. We are collaborating with Enterprise Singapore, landing companies out of the US and Europe back into Singapore for Southeast Asia entry. And we collaborate closely with Lux Innovation on the ground here in Luxembourg as the new entry point to the European Union. Just as a reminder to founders and to judges, there is 95 billion euros here in non-dilutive and blended finance available for our founders, probably the largest pot of money in the world available for commercialization and R&D. And so please take the time to get to know the opportunities. And if you'd like more information, don't hesitate to reach out to us directly. If everyone can just drop your details in the chat for everyone else on the call to connect in. I'll drop mine here. Always good to make new friends at Unicorn Pitch Events. And we look forward to staying in touch. Thanks, Keith. I've posted in mine. We've got Peter in Singapore, and we have our friend, where are you based? Gaio? I think Gaio is based out of Prague in Czech Republic. Perfect. Thanks, Jakub. Brilliant. And do reach out to any of our founders. Everyone here is raising capital and they're keen to learn more. We're going to share this presentation with our friends at Allocations. We have 1,000 accredited high net worth investors in our community. We're going to share this presentation with our friends at Republic in our Super Angels network, with our teams at Women VC, where we have 4,400 female investors and GPs ready to invest, with our Transact network of more than 150 female GPs, with our network European Women VC and She VC in Asia. So looking forward to talking to you all soon, and we look forward to welcoming you at the next Unicorn Pitch events in the second half of this year. We're the licensee of Unicorn Pitch in Australia, in Luxembourg, in Arizona, and in Texas. And we're the proud partner of She Loves Tech in Western Europe, Northern Europe, Southern Europe, Japan, and Korea. So if you'd like to collaborate with us in any of our missions, we warmly welcome co-investors into our universes. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day and have a great evening ahead for those of you where it's time for bed. Good night, Peter. Good night, all.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
More like a good morning.
Good morning.